What is nudging? Nudging is an umbrella term for deliberate and predictable methods of changing people's behaviour by modifying the choice context. Examples are putting healthy fruit at eye level or making the environment-friendly choice the default standard choice. Most of the time, people do not have the time, motivation or resources to consciously reflect on their choices. And a result, many choices or behaviour are the result of relatively automatic processes and rules of thumb that are frequently guided by the environment rather than logical and rational processes. For example, we assume that something which is scarce must be good, and we look to others for behavioural guidance when we are unsure how to act. Nudges take advantage of these relatively unconscious processes by rearranging the environment in such a way that a specific choice becomes more likely. For example, by suggesting that other people you identify with opted for this specific choice. Nudging has been characterized as libertarian paternalism, which implies that although they promote a certain choice, none of the choices should be difficult to avoid, made mandatory, incentivized economically or socially, and made significantly more costly in terms of time or trouble. Nudging has been found effective in various domains such as organ donation, obesity, retirement savings, divorce, and environmental issues. As a result, nudging interventions are nowadays frequently being applied in policy making. Yet, despite their popularity, there are several yet unresolved questions in nudging. Resolving these questions is important to better respond to criticism regarding the ethical aspects of nudging and to increase success rates of nudging interventions. Two of these issues that we think needs further addressing are the role of transparency and the consequences of nudging. We will now explain two issues a bit more elaborately. 1. The role of transparency. Nudges are subtle rearrangements of the choice architecture. This subtlety has raised some concerns about the ethical aspects of nudges, as they may manipulate people in a direction they may not be aware of. One solution to this issue is to make people aware of the nudge intervention. However, nudges are claimed to be effective precisely because they influence behaviour more or less outside of conscious awareness. Yet, the little evidence that is available on this issue seems to show that making individuals aware of a nudging intervention may not affect its effectiveness. Although more systematic research, building on psychological insights on non-conscious processes is needed to confirm these findings. Specifically, we suggest that such research should discern between awareness of the nudge, awareness of the automatic process by which the nudge influences behaviour, awareness of the outcome behaviour, and finally should consider the role of the source of the nudge. 2. What are the consequences of nudging? Nudging interventions are often portrayed as one-shot localized interventions. For example, a customer enters a restaurant and is nudged into choosing the healthy side dish after making it the default. Nudging theory typically examined the effectiveness of a nudge within a specific situation, and no research so far has investigated consequences of nudging interventions from a psychological perspective, such as spillover effects of interventions to different choices, different locations, or different times. Future research should examine whether nudges could have negative long-term side effects, or whether they can help to empower people into creating new habits that will last even when the intervention is removed. Knowing how people react to multiple nudging can potentially inform public debates on the ethics and applicability of nudging. Based on what we learned during the Nudges project, we, David Marchiori, Denise Derrida, and Mariaki Adriance, identified 4 core issues that we think need further investigation in the future. These 4 issues are discussed in our paper, Unresolved Questions in Nudging Research, Putting the Psychology Back in Nudging, published in the scientific journal Social and Personality Psychology Compass.